Absolute Green Arrow continues, and I really like this cover. But before I get into this review, I just want to say in between issues, I actually finally finished Green Arrow Year 1, and this actually really made me a Green Arrow fan. I kind of want to read more issues. I actually know what I'm going to buy next for Green Arrow, but I wanted to point this out right here that in this version, this is what Hammond tells Oliver. He said, "That's twice now you've come back from the dead, Oliver." So and Oliver tells him, "I plan to make a habit of it." So that's why I think despite what happens in this issue, I think it's a fake out, and I'm pretty sure Green Arrow is Oliver, or Oliver's coming back in some way, because it just seems like that's the theme of this character. Because like they mentioned it a few times in Year 1, which I thought was interesting. But now we get into the fight with Absolute Solomon Grundy is how I should address him. And something I want to point out that I noticed is that all the eyes are functioning because they all look at Dina as soon as she jumps on top of him. So that's kind of insane to know that each eye functions. Like we kind of theorize they do, but seeing them in action, we finally figure out that it is the case. She does end up dropping Solomon, but I think this is just a fake out. As during this fight goes on, she realizes that Harper is just gone. As we see that Absolute Green Arrow begins to make his way to Hammond's computer, and this is why he cut off his arm. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was issue 1 where he cuts off his arm, and this is why he has it so he can get into the system. And this is where Dina finds out what's really going on at this so-called island. We thought it was being used for other things, but it turns out it's just used for these kind of experiments. And as we continue on, we get to see that Hammond is actually here at this location, and he has a new prosthetic hand, and he's very angry. But we get to see the doctor who's kind of behind everything, and we see that they are working on cellular regeneration. And that's why I think something did happen to Oliver. Well, I'll get to that in a little bit when we get to the big reveal. I'll let you guys know before we get into heavy spoilers, because I will show you that. But this is what the doctor looks like who's in charge of everything that's going on here. And we see that he experiments on this guy, and he ends up growing a bunch of arms because he's actually infected him with like a spider DNA, which is pretty funny. But he can't feel his legs, so I'm assuming he doesn't have any anymore. And this is where Dina finally gets the drop on Hammond, and she has him and the doctor right here, and she finally gets to question them, and she finds out that one drug, Miracle, is just a very strong steroid, but it's not really like their main thing. It's just part of the rejuvenation process. Not rejuvenation, regeneration is what they're doing here. And there's this like flashback here because they're trying to say Oliver isn't a good man. And I'm not sure if this flashback is going to continue, but this doesn't really show Oliver being a bad guy at all. It actually shows you why he was a good good man. But here, this is where the spoilers come in. So if you guys do want to click off and not see this big reveal, but I'm going to say why I don't believe it in a minute, but I will give you guys a chance to leave. Because like I said, it is a big reveal, and I'm going to head towards it right now because he's taking Dina to where he claims Oliver is at. And we do get to see that Oliver is there all cut up in pieces. And I was going to say he doesn't have a bullet hole in his head, but they did mention that Oliver was the drugs and everything that they wanted to do regarding regeneration, Oliver's body was very receptive to it, and he was their prime candidate. So I think it actually worked, and he became this absolute Green Arrow, and he took off. And this is just them trying to cover themselves so they don't know what happened. Because after this reveal, the reason why I don't think this is real is because after he shows it, Hammond immediately calls out to Grundy. It's like he had this set up just in case. So that's why I think it's not real. And but we'll see how it plays out. It could very well be, but I'm still not believing it, even though it's right there in front of me. I'm just not. And we see that Solomon Grundy is actually able to revive himself. And that's like it's an ability that he got from the regeneration. But when he comes back, he turns into more of a monster, and he ends up picking up Dina. And I kind of like how sad this is right here, where Dina says Grundy can't be the one who gets to, and then she's of course going to say get to come back, because he comes back to life, but Oliver is not. And here, finally, Absolute Green Arrow shows up. And what I really like, this is the first time he's actually fighting someone of actual real threat. Like he's not just some he's not just some random human that Absolute Green Arrow always just owns every single time. This is an actual threat, and I just wanted to see how this Green Arrow handles it. And he, of course, we saw he immediately goes for the eyes. He actually shoots another arrow, and this one knocks him off balance and knocks him into this backup. I think it's like some kind of generator or something to shock him, which is really cool. It really shows how this Green Arrow really is thinking a lot, and that's how Oliver fights. That's why I'm convinced that it might be Oliver, because this is the stuff he was pulling in year one. But this is Grundy. He's not going to stop, and he ends up hitting Green Arrow, and this is where we get to see how much durability he really has, because he just takes that one hit and he's almost knocked out. Dina has to carry him, and then Grundy throws a chair at him and he ends up falling over again. But Grundy just won't stop. That's what Hammond is revealing, that he'll always come after you. And right here, Dina's planning to make her final stand because of everything that Hammond's taken from her. He's taken her father, he's bullied her, killed the man that she loves, and she doesn't care anymore. She's finally going to win something. And right here, she mentions that her migraine comes back, and I can't believe I never called this out before, but her migraines are totally tied to her canary powers. That's totally what's about to happen, especially like this kind of gives me like a sonic, like a, you know how she shoots that sonic wave thing? I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but she has like this screech that she shoots out. And that's what this kind of reminds me of, this background, especially her eye is changing. I feel like her power was about to activate. I feel like if she just gives in to this, her migraines will go away, and this pain and this vision blur she gets will leave too. But right here, she says she holds it back. That's why I don't think it's going to activate yet. And I think she does have to she does have to give in for them to go away. And here's another shot of, as I was saying earlier, how the eyes follow what they're looking at, all of the eyes, which is kind of crazy. And it explains why, even though Green Arrow shot him in the eyes on his face, he can still see everyone. But right here, Hammond instructs Grundy. He tells him, he said, Green Arrow took my hand, so now you take his. And he actually does. So this is really going to show us what Green Arrow really is capable of. If he regenerates, it's probably Oliver. And I think the body is a fake out. I honestly do. I wouldn't put it past him to be able to recreate something like that. But man, this was a good issue. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I really like the cover. And I'm really getting into Green Arrow just as a character. I know Absolute Green Arrow doesn't really feature him too much, but after reading year one and then reading through this story, Oliver pulls a lot of moves in year one that this Green Arrow does too, and it just makes me think that it is Oliver, because I don't know who else it can be, because it's obviously not Roy Harper. He's actually disappeared in this issue, and I noticed that he never shows back up after he vanishes. So maybe in issue 5 we'll see more. And I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but this series actually recently got extended. So now instead of being 6 issues, it's going to be 12, which is really cool. Same thing happened to Absolute Martian Manhunter. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. This was another really, really good issue. I can't wait to see how the fight ends. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.